Today, presenting successfully online depends greatly on the quality of your on-camera presentation. Hi, I'm Fernando Jones, and this lesson is designed to help you improve your video conferencing and your video conference teaching experience. When you think about yourself in this space, I want you to think of NAMM. NAMM, because it is necessary and most meaningful for you to be able to do it professionally. This lesson is broken into three parts: technology, presentation prep, and production. Section 1, Technology. In this section, we will talk about web browsers, video conference platforms that are popular, and devices that you will use to make your presentation, and your device options for lesson presentations. When it comes to web browsers, the three most popular or most commonly used from my experiences have been Google Chrome, or simply Chrome, Safari, Firefox. Safari is already bundled on Mac-based products, and so as a default, many Mac users may go to that readily. Firefox, I have found from the video conference solutions that I use or tend to favor, Chrome or Google Chrome is the most compatible. So simply look into the platform that you're going to use for your video conferencing and see what they recommend. The most commonly used video conference platforms include, but may not be limited to, Zoom, WebEx, GoToMeeting, Google Meet, and the old standby Skype. The most popular one is Zoom, hands down. For academic institutions of higher learning, Zoom has been the industry standard. Here in Chicago public schools, they use Google Meet because that has, according to them, a better security feature. Nevertheless, pretty much pick a video conference platform that you like and that you are familiar with. Be cognizant of the devices that you will use. Mostly everyone that has some sort of a computer access device, I would highly recommend of the devices. The top choice would be desktop. Second choice would be laptop. Third choice would be a tablet. I would pretty much stay away from using a cellular phone. First law of engagement in the video conferencing is the eye contact. So you'll notice from this image on a Mac computer, you'll see I exaggerated this red dot and it has focal point sticker. The cool thing about this, it does no damage to your device at all. And that'll be your little secret, and you will look like your regular television presenter, which by default you are. It does not matter what you have to present if your internet connection is terrible. We've all been on video conferences and someone was talking and they froze, or they sounded like Roger Troutman talking with the talk box. The first couple times or the first 5 seconds is kind of funny. So how do you avoid that? We're going to talk about Wi-Fi versus Ethernet. Wi-Fi is cool when you go somewhere and you don't want to use your data and you're, let's say at Starbucks, you're doing something and they have free Wi-Fi, then you can jump on their Wi-Fi and it takes, nothing away from your cellular plan. So here's an example of Wi-Fi and a landline. We've all been on calls before with our cellular phones and the call dropped. After it happens the second time in the conversation, it becomes annoying. On a landline, the volume is perfect, the clarity is there, and the whole bit. So the thing that makes that connection a little bit better and a lot better than a Wi-Fi connection is that it is hardwired. So now the information that's traveling from your computer into that wire, into that router, nothing can interrupt it for the most part. This is what it looks like. You have your computer, your Ethernet cable, and you have your router. Wi-Fi connection. Tour bus. When you're presenting, you want to be that sports car. The next section, presentation prep. We will talk about being on camera, your background settings, and lighting. And little cheat tips, signature look. Here's one of my all-time favorite television personalities, Rachel Maddow. Every day, she has the same uniform. She keeps it simple and consistent. This translates to the audience that she is consistent and on air and at work on purpose. Plus, it's no fuss, and it looks good all of the time on camera. You might like a particular outfit, but it might make you look absolutely bonkers on video and take away from what your subject matter is. For example, you might like the color yellow. Everybody loves Big Bird, but you don't want it to be you. So think about your outfit and think about your uniform. Everybody loves Mr. Rogers. He's our favorite neighbor and is always consistent in the reruns that we watch. Though his sweaters were different colors from show to show, he always wore one. When he came through the door, he's got his sweater on, he sits down, takes off his dress shoes, and put on what we call in Chicago gym shoes. I don't know what they call them now. I guess they call them sneakers. He was putting on his uniform. He was showing us that he was there on purpose. If he showed up one day in a tuxedo or a mink coat, we'd overthink what was going on, especially if there was nothing to warrant the mink or the tux on the show. And even if he did have something special that day, it's going to look weird because we were branded into seeing him in his sweaters. I too have an outfit. My outfit is called the Zoom suit. No one loves to dress more than I do. I've got all types of jackets, hats, but they don't all look good on camera. And you don't want to look like a character or caricature of yourself when you're presenting, even though you are and will be a brand. So I too keep it simple. Every time I come on Zoom, whether I'm a participant or whether I am the lead, I have the same outfit on. I wear the same hat that you see me presenting in today, turtleneck, jacket, single button, pair of black pants, and I have a pair of Stacy Adams Faradays. Even though people can't see my feet, when I present, I am presenting on purpose. Your outfit might be a tracksuit. One thing that I learned, people when they look on these devices, we relate that to watching television, and all of those images are clear. So when they transfer that optical intelligence to you, they really subconsciously or subliminally want you to be clear and as purposeful as something else that they just watched on television or on the internet. Remember, you are your brand. Your backdrop setting is equally as important as your face. It is a partner to your face and the information that you are delivering. So you don't want to have a backdrop that will upstage what it is that you're talking about. You don't want to be talking about major chords and minor chords and your student is too busy reading the 12 posters that you have in the back. And when you ask them if they understand, they say, "Oh, I see that the Doors played the Fillmore East. What year was that?" So now you're like off track and the whole bit. And keep in mind, too, the attention span is so much shorter in these video conferences than in real life. So you don't want to give any person an opportunity to be swayed from what you have to offer. Here are samples of industry standard backdrops for video and photography settings. Remember this, you want to present like you've done this a million times, even if this is your first time. Okay? So on the left, you will see a white muslin cloth backdrop. Advantage to this is if you present with a white backdrop, it will really make your image, which is you, and if you are picking up an instrument, it will make that instrument pop. It will look clean. It will look like you are presenting on purpose. The next one is a green screen. With the green screen, you can use some of your virtual images that are pre-packed into some of your video conference solutions, and they will present a lot better with that green screen in the back than if you don't. You've seen the images when the people have, for example, the Golden Gate Bridge in the back, and then when they turn to the left, they start disappearing into the picture. But if you're not, in fact, in San Francisco or have a connection to San Francisco, that's going to be distracting because people are going to wonder, well, why does he or she have San Francisco in the background? So keep it simple. The next one, I like to call this black one the Charlie Rose effect. They had a black backdrop and it just looked so professional and it made everybody on there look so smart. We're going to be pretty much presenting online easily for the next 12 to 16 months. Say I'm in Chicago and people are in Los Angeles and Florida and my weather's not as bright as theirs is. This will be ideal because when they watch me present, my backdrop is as bright and lively as their environment is. And besides, when people see books, they think that you read those books. You could have a guitar or two or a bass or something hanging up on the wall. Try to keep it symmetrical. Lighting is the best friend that any presenter could have. This is a sample of a ring light. Most of us have lamps in our house, and most of us are going through this situation to want to spend any extra money buying stuff that we feel that we're not going to use for the rest of our career. Bring the lamp from one room. If you can, pop one in behind the computing device because that will shine light on you. This section is about production. All right, this is what my setup looks like. I have a full screen iMac desktop. I have this exact desk, 2 Rocket monitors, a Focusrite Scarlett 18i20. Above my computer is a high definition Logitech camera. It also has the ability to pick up sound or a built-in microphone. The mic that you hear me speaking on is a Shure MV5 USB microphone. You can also plug your headphones into it. I have over-ear headphones and I also have the earbuds. I swapped out my computer desk chair for a hydraulic bar stool. Since my computer is elevated and not at eye level, it's important for me to be looking like I'm at eye level. And instead of stacking 4 pillows in a chair just so that I was raised up high enough, I just borrowed one of the bar chairs from the other side of the finished basement. Advantage to the over-ear headphones is that, of course, you can hear what's happening without powering up your main speakers, especially if the conversation or the session is pretty much private or you live in a situation where it's kind of intrusive for other people to hear the conversation coming back on the other end. Advantage to using the earbuds: if you're doing an interview, you can put the earbuds in, run the cord down. If you're wearing all black, you can run it down the back or down the front off to the side, and people won't even know that you have earbuds in. The advantage to headphones overall is that you're hearing the richness of the sound without it being interrupted by everything else in the room. The advantage to the interface for me is because obviously if I want to use a different microphone and plug it into the interface, that gives it an opportunity for that information to be received on the computer and played on the computer. Most of us who are doing lessons may not necessarily have a recording studio in their house. I'm going to look at a setting that you may have. You may have a desktop or laptop or tablet. You can put it on a table. If it's not high enough, you can stack it on some books to bring it up to your eye level. See, you've got your cup of coffee there. You can use your standard rolling office chair or a chair that you already have in the house. You don't have to buy anything. The industry standard DAW, digital audio workstations that I'm familiar with and many of your students or your contemporaries will be familiar with: Pro Tools, Logic, GarageBand. If you're dealing with a client that is using a Mac-based product, I would advise using GarageBand because that's a language that you all both can go. You can go back and forth on that. Music I Love is another software that was created by a fellow NAMM friend, Melody. Very, very intuitive music making, music lessons app. So I'm going to recap. When it comes to technology, well, first I want you to get a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil, and I want you to write these answers down for yourself. Only you will see these. This is your journal to yourself. Which browser do you use, and which browser will be most effective and efficient going forward to make you a better presenter? What video conference platform do you use regularly? And it is also important to find out from your students. Give them a survey, and then I want you to find out what video conference platform they use. Sometimes it might be easier to learn the software that they are comfortable with. What device will you use on the high end? Once again, desktop, laptop, tablet, and cell phone, which I don't recommend. What device will your student be using? Your internet connection. Are you going to use Wi-Fi, or are you going to spend that $6 on that Ethernet cable? For your signature look, what are you going to wear? Today, we're going to play 4 quarter notes on the 3rd fret with our index finger. Hold on, let me grab my guitar. Oh, let me grab my pick. Are you there? Can you hear me? Can you still see me? Oh, wait a minute. Here's the 3rd fret. I'm sorry. Are you still there? Here's an example of a pre-recorded portion that will help your lesson run smoothly. Today, we're going to play 4 quarter notes on the 3rd fret on the low E string. I hope you found this presentation helpful. My name is Fernando Jones. Thank you, and your kindness should not be obliterated.